Hello, and thank you for joining me. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Python lists. Python lists are extremely important when you are trying to use Python for data analysis. So I want you to pay attention to this. Looking at what we have here, Python lists are versatile and they are widely used data structure, which you can use to store items in sequence. They are mutable, and this means that their element can be changed after the list is created. And this is quite cool because it means you can replace the value. In this particular notebook, I'm going to be talking to you about lists. Please, as I said, pay attention. How do you create a list? A list can be created by a comma separated sequence and inside a square bracket. You can have an empty list. So your list can be like this. If you print, if you print this, print my list, you can see that is an empty list. And you can also have your list the way we have it. And if you print, you have your list. So it is to access elements in your list, just like we've done for string, you can access it. The first letter is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one, if you print my list 0 is 1, my list 3, 0, 1, 3 is Python. And if you use my list minus 1, it will go from the back. So minus 1 will be data, minus 2 will be Python, and the likes. Within your list, you can have a list inside the list. In this list, you can have another list like this. You can have another list like this, 1.2, 3, 4. So you can see that's a list inside the list. And you can have, inside the list, you can have 1, 5, 6, and 7. You can have a tuple inside your list. I think you can also have a dictionary inside the list. No. Okay, John is not defined. Sorry. It is because I'm supposed to do it like this. So you see, you can have a dictionary. So let's get this straight. You can have integer, a string, a float, a list, a tuple, a dictionary. You can have anything inside a list, and that's why it is golden. The next thing we want to look at is how will you slice a list. Let's assume you have this list of numbers from 0 to 9. You can print numbers 2 and 5. And how are you going to get that? 0, 1, 2. So you start from 2, 2, 3. So you want to print 2 to 5. So you 2, 3, 4, but you won't add the 5 to it. So your output will be 2, 3, 4. For this one, you want everything before 4. So that means you have 0 to 3. Here, you want everything from 6 and above. So you have 6 to the last. Here, you only want the even numbers. And that is what you have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Not exactly even numbers, but yeah, because 0 is not an even number. The next thing we'll look at is how you can modify a list. You can modify a list by, you are going to use your slicer to choose the position of the list you want to replace, and you will assign it to a new value. So if you look at this, here we are replacing 2, and if you print, you can see that 2 has been replaced with changed. And then how can you add elements? You can add elements that you can use the append method to add an element into a list. When you use the append method, the new element goes to be the last. And also you can use this plus minus another item. And then when you do that as well, your new items will be at the back. And then when you add two lists together, my list dot extend. So you are your list, the extend the added list will be at the back as well. So let's run this for you to see. This is taking time, but we get there in the end. And if you want to remove an element in a list, you can remove an element using three different methods. The first one is you can use my list.removed. You mention the particular item you want to remove, and it is removed from your list. Another method you can do is you can use pop. And when you use pop, with pop, you are using the index of that particular list. You are not choosing the number directly. And then with delete, you can specify the particular item using the index, and then you can print your list. And with that, it's removed what you want it to remove. Let's run this and let's see where we are. As you can see, it has removed, in the first one, it removed changed. And in the second instance, it removed 2. And in the third instance, it removed 1. And that's how we get where we are. Another thing that is very interesting is list comprehension. List comprehension makes it easy. Without list comprehension, this particular action might be in maybe 2 lines. But so what this is saying is x raised power 2 for x in the range of 10. So in this line of code, it will give you all these outputs for 0, for 1. It does it up for every value between 0 and 9 in the range of 10. And you can as well iterate through a list. How can you iterate through a list? For item in my list, print item. So with that, you can print all the item, Python data, another item, and the likes. If we print it, let's see where we are. You can see we have all the different stuff. You can check if an item exists in a list. And how do you do that? You can say if Python in my list prints Python is in the list. So if it is there, it will print. If it is not there, it will not print. Let's assume print. Let's change this to Pythons. And you can see that because there is no Pythons, we don't have any output. But I'll just put it back there. And then list length. You can get the length of your list through the length arguments, length function, print length of my list, and it gives you the number of elements, number of items in that list. And then sorting list, you can use the sort method or the sorted function, and this is how to do it. You have this, and then when you sort, it will arrange your list from the minimum to the from small to the biggest. It's either you use numbers.sort or you do sorted bracket numbers. Either of the two, it both works. It works the same way. So, and that is where we are going to stop. As you can see, lists are very powerful in Python. I'm going to encourage you to practice all this. If you practice makes perfect. The more work you do, the better you become. And anytime you spend understanding lists is not a waste, trust me. You know, as I told you, we are here to support you, to transform you from not knowing how to code to being a data professional and working in data. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.